right, so we're talking about level one, okay? Level one for us is, does the athlete slide their pelvis in the direction of the pitcher during their stride, okay? So we call that, when we're just kind of talking to each other, we say the forward move, okay? But sometimes that gets a little bit misconstrued because I want the pelvis to move forward, right? But I want the head to stay back so I can see the baseball. I don't want to see this. That gets hitters moving too quickly forward, and we kind of fall into problems. Now, there's a really specific reason why this is the most important thing, and it's really about swing decisions and quickness, okay? So first off, let's just talk about like why swing decisions are important, which you probably know this already if you're watching this, but like, you know, the most important thing is for you to swing at pitches that are good and to be on time with the pitches that you swing at. So if I want to be on time consistently, I need to be able to be very quick, okay? And if I'm quick, what's going to happen is I can let that pitch travel a long way before I ultimately commit to my swing. So imagine a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, okay? It takes 0.4 seconds to get into home plate, okay? If my swing takes 0.2 seconds to get from when I start trying to be explosive to when my bat actually enters the zone, that means that I have to start my swing, actually start my movements when the ball's halfway to me, okay? And if that's the case, I'm not gonna know enough information about that pitch to actually make a good decision. So our first thing, okay, is we wanna try to drive that time down to be as low as possible, okay? So it's closer to like 0.1. Usually the best hitters are about 0.1 seconds. We call that get in the way time, okay? If we can drive that time down, then hitters have the opportunity to be successful because they're going to make better decisions because they can get to the spot where they're gonna run into the ball quicker, okay? So they can see it longer, all right? And what we found is that if athletes are on their back leg like this, right, and that pelvis does not slide forward, okay, like this, what ends up happening is when I think, okay, it's time to swing, I still have to shift my body forward to be able to get my swing off. So I'm adding additional movements, okay? I like to think of it almost like you're standing on a diving board, okay? So if you're standing on a diving board, right, ultimately you wanna jump into the water, right? So there's a certain period where you're on the diving board and then there's a certain period where you're off the diving board. I want my stride and my loading sequence to take me as close to the edge of the diving board as possible, so that way I can jump in the water whenever I want to, okay? Whereas if I run halfway up the diving board and I still have to run a little bit further to then ultimately jump, then we're gonna end up in a bad situation and we're gonna make bad swing decisions. So for us, the forward move, getting that pelvis to slide forward, is the first thing we teach, and it's by far the most important thing, okay? So that's level one for us. And if an athlete can't do that, we can't move on to the next level, okay? That is one of those things that it creates so many like glaring swing problems that we have to fix that first before we can move on to the next thing. And we find that when we do this out of order, it just doesn't work all that well. If you want to stick around and see what level 2 is, hang on to the next video.